Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Dianco, the multidimensional MD. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I am very late today because I am in San Diego in California. And I've been traveling all day, but I still wanted to hop on here because I had something really exciting I wanted to talk about. And it is how to support detoxification while you sleep. So as always, I love to come on here to make the intuitive aspects of health more tangible and practical for you so that you can access greater healing and more peace, love, and joy in your everyday lives. And so this week I've been thinking about the Buckminster Fuller phrase, do more with less. And this is something really important in this overarching theme in holistic healing, to take a proactive approach to our health and to what resources we have. Our bodies naturally tend towards balance. And if you get a scratch, say, it tends to heal. So by understanding the health that we have within, we can enhance our natural healing abilities and, in essence, do more with less. So in this episode, I'm going to go through the glymphatics and what that has to do with detoxification while you're sleeping. We're going to talk about REM versus non-REM sleep. We're going to touch on traditional Chinese medicine perspectives as well as Ayurvedic perspectives. And then we're going to go through some remedies, including remedies you can take, herbal remedies, and other supplements, topical remedies, some appliances that are available. And at the end, I'm going to go through some lifestyle factors as well as a healing poem that I wrote specifically to read and say at bedtime to help you with your sleep. So why am I so interested in the glymphatics and in this detoxification while we're sleeping? So the glymphatics were something that were more recently discovered, but of course have always existed. And our brains need to be able to detoxify just like the rest of the body. So for many years, we didn't know that there were glymphatics, but actually from a cranial osteopathic perspective, we could feel this movement of fluid within the brain, within the CSF, that helps to nourish the brain, that helps to nourish the whole body, that actually helps to also detoxify. And so what's really interesting is that now we know that we have this system of glymphatics in the brain that help your body to both remove metabolites and actually help to oxygenate your brain as well. And what's interesting is that if this system isn't working properly, then we'll be more at risk for many different disorders, including neurodegenerative disorders like dementia and Alzheimer's. So there's been a lot more interest in the glymphatic systems now that we know a little bit more about it. And so I thought, let's talk about how can we support the glymphatics and help your overall health, your cardiovascular health, your immune health, your emotional health, your mental health, and your cognition. So many things. And how can we do this and get the most out of our sleep? So this is that concept of do more with less. And the brain glymphatics are actually 10 times more active during deep sleep than REM sleep. So REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement sleep, is when you're dreaming and you might have like conscious dreams, but non-REM sleep is what a deeper kind of sleep. There's different stages, and the deepest part of non-REM sleep is actually really important for the glymphatics to work. They are 10 times more active during that part of sleep than when you are awake. And we have more of that deep sleep in the first half of the night. That's if everything is functioning optimally. But we need both REM sleep and deep sleep for our overall health. We need it for learning, for memory, for cognitive and especially like emotional processing. So REM sleep is more important in terms of like emotional memory processing, and then both are important in terms of like memory processing in general, so overall cognition. So but then during the REM sleep is much more active in a way, and non-REM sleep, especially that deep sleep, you aren't dreaming, and the wavelengths in your brain are much slower. So while all these types of sleep are essential, then we really need that deep sleep for our brains to detoxify well. So if your sleep is restless and non-restorative, then you may not get as much of that deep sleep. And again, we do need both, because REM sleep helps with memory differently than deep sleep. It's more about those social and emotional memories, and with the dreams and forgotten memories. So that's really fascinating to me, that we need all these various parts of our sleep, but that we also need this deep sleep and able to both rejuvenate and detoxify. And then when we start to look at other perspectives, like from traditional Chinese medicine, it's really neat. I love to do this. This is what makes it multidimensional, because then we have a greater understanding once we start to look from different perspectives. So from traditional Chinese medicine, they have this clock, this body clock. And so if we look at the organ clock at nighttime, so starting around 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., we have the triple burner, then we have the gallbladder, and then we have the liver. So these are talking about not necessarily the physical organ systems themselves, but more energetic organs, systems, and the meridians. And so we know that from traditional TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, that the triple burner energy system is important for the overall harmony of all the organ systems. And so this is going along with the glymphatics in general, because remember I said that deep sleep is necessary for the glymphatics to work optimally. It's this change in norepinephrine, and things open up, so you have a lot greater fluid shifts in your head than you do when you're awake. So this allows more nourishment and allows more detoxification. And so when we look at that triple burner, which is in that first part of the night, that helps to harmonize the organ systems, you can see how important it is for for us to get proper detoxification, for glymphatics to work. And then we have the gallbladder and the liver meridian systems. And this also has to do with assimilation and detoxification in general. So from that first part of the night, that 9 p.m., and I mean, depending on when you go to sleep, but I think that's really interesting, because we start to see how this comes together from different perspectives. And then we can go on and take a note from Ayurvedic medicine. And if you look from that perspective, they look at the doshas, and the doshas are energy constitutions in terms of the different elements and how they're put together. So if we look at the dosha and from Ayurveda, that's in the head, this is the Tarpaka kapha, which is a specific kapha dosha in Ayurvedic, and that's located in the head. And this is important for both the CSF nourishment of all the nerves in the brain, and that fluid movement, and it's also important to support your sensory organs. And so if you think about that from a broader perspective, this is important in terms of how we perceive the world, which includes our intuition and our contentment. So now we're putting the picture together from the glymphatics that are detoxifying the brain, to that need for the deep sleep, and traditional Chinese medicine, where we have that triple burner in that beginning part of the night, and from Ayurvedic, where you have that Tarpaka kapha dosha, which is important for the nourishment of the nerves and the sensory organs. And so you can see that harmonization of all of our organ systems, and as well as the nourishment of the nerves and the detoxification. So we're putting together a bigger picture. So then what else can you do? So we'll go through some specific remedies that can help you with your detoxification while you sleep. So you're getting the most out of your sleep. So last time I talked about Concord grape juice and how helpful that can be with carbohydrate metabolism. So for you to be able to detoxify well, for those glymphatics to work well, then we need our metabolism to work well. So remember from TCM, we had triple burner, gallbladder, and liver from that 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. part of the night. This is a huge part of our digestion. So we need to pay attention to how we're eating, both in terms of if you're allowing enough time to have that fast overnight. That's why we have breakfast, because it's breaking the fast. So you're supposed to have a long time of the 24 hours where you're not eating. So we tend to not eat later at night, and that can help your sleep. However, I will make an exception for Concord grape juice, because Concord grape juice, as I talked about in another episode, can really help with your carbohydrate metabolism, and it can really help with those gut cells rejuvenate as well. And your overall detoxification has tons of antioxidants, which can support not just the digestive tract, but the overall detoxification in general. So just a little bit of Concord grape juice, anywhere from 2 ounces to 4 ounces, diluted in half with water or a quarter water, whatever tastes good to you, can be really helpful in detoxification. Everyone that has done this has felt the benefit somehow. So do it consistently to see it work over time. I can see it, what it does to people's complexions, to their skin, to their focus and cognition, but also to bloating and gut health. So take a look at that other episode on Concord grape juice for more information on that. Other things you can do to help detoxify are taking a little bit of activated charcoal at night. You could do that, or a little bit of bentonite clay, food grade bentonite clay. So again, your body is moving a lot of fluids at night. Your brain is opening up and allowing those glymphatics to flush things out. So this is a great time in general for fluid movement in the body. And nighttime is restorative time, is time for detoxification. So you can enhance that with something like activated charcoal. Before you go to sleep, you could also take a salt bath. That will help you absorb all these minerals that help you relax before bedtime, and you're opening up things. So salt bath is also detoxifying, and you can see everything starts to support each other. So all these little things, you don't have to do everything I mentioned, but if you just do a small thing consistently over time, take these small steps over time, you will see remarkable results. You can just support your overall health. So the point is to keep taking steps towards health. And that's why I'm describing these little things that you can do to support your sleep detoxification, which is an amazing part of your overall health. There are so many things that I want to be able to talk about it, but I won't get into the details of the cranial osteopathic details of what the glymphatics mean in terms of why it's so important. But I hope that I'm able to convey some of that to you with what I'm talking about here today. Other things that you could take are magnesium. Magnesium threonate is one that is best absorbed, can cross the blood-brain barrier most easily. And so that is used in hundreds of enzyme processes. And so that can also support your overall detoxification, can support your bowels moving as well. So, and then if we want to look at adaptogenic herbs or brain tonics, we can look at some of the Ayurvedic ones. There's so many brain tonics, but I'm going to mention just a couple. There is Brahmi or Gotu and Bacopa. They're in the same family of herbs, but they're slightly different. They're grown in different regions, but they're all nourishing to the brain and can help to improve brain circulation. So these are very safe to be taken over time. Of course, if you have any issues, just talk to your physician or other practitioner to make sure that it's okay for you. These sorts of things, they don't recommend necessarily if you're pregnant. If you have like any particular medical issues, then make sure to check with your physician. But otherwise, they're considered very gentle tonics. Other gentle brain tonics would be ginkgo, which I love. I love the shape of it, and it can combine really well with Gatu cola and make a nice earthy kind of tea. Ginkgo you can't take with a lot of different medications, so definitely do a medication check before you take ginkgo if you're considering taking that. But otherwise, you can combine these herbs and make a nice brain tonic, and that can be supportive for the overall brain circulation and detoxification. And so then we're going to go into topical remedies and appliances. And I mentioned taking salt baths. So you're going to absorb these minerals and nutrients through the salt bath. But you can also use some appliances like a grounding mat, which helps you literally ground to the earth, and this also supports your detoxification process, because we are meant to harmonize with the earth. But because of our modern society and culture and the way that we live, then a lot of times we get ungrounded. So the electricity literally is rising. And the more you have looping thoughts or just overactive mind, then more of that energy will be rising. So you literally need to take that energy and ground it to the earth. And so you can do that with a grounding mat, which plugs into the grounding port of the outlet and will go down just like the rest of electricity to the earth. And there's a reason why the electricity in the house has a grounding port with a grounding rod into the earth to make it safe and prevent short circuits. So we need the same thing because our bodies are electrical. And so a grounding mat can be so helpful. I've had patients that they took an Oura ring and measured or saw the measurements when they were using the grounding mat and when they weren't. And they saw a remarkable improvement in their heart rate variability and other measures when they were using the grounding mat. So something very easy, simple to use. It could be a grounding sheet, it could be a grounding blanket. It does have to touch the surface of your skin so to be able to get the most out of it. So take a look. Earthing.com is one company, but there's many companies that make them because they're relatively simple appliances. Another great appliance I have, a device, is a biomat. And I love my biomat. It has a combination of amethyst and tourmaline in it, and it emits a far infrared ray, which is a beneficial wavelength for humans. You do have to build up to it, so you don't necessarily want to sleep on it right away. If you have never used a biomat before, then you want to use it on a low heat setting and start with 5 minutes a day and increase it every several days until you build up. Make sure that you are not detoxifying too quickly with it. You're never supposed to sleep on it with high heat. It's always supposed to be low heat, but you can definitely read more about that. And it's one of the best things you can do to help relieve stress and just help the overall detoxification of the body and rejuvenation and maintenance of your body and mind, because it's so helpful. It's actually a medically approved device, and so you could, if you use it for certain things like musculoskeletal things, then you could use your health savings account to purchase one if you have a prescription from a physician. So if that's something that you feel like it would be useful for you and you come to see me, then I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Another remedy, a topical remedy that you could use, are castor oil liver packs. And I've talked about this a lot with Corinne Casey, with Edgar Casey's Creating Calm podcast. And castor oil liver packs are so useful for detoxification. You take a drizzle of castor oil on an organic sheet, cotton wool, or any of these other packs that have wraps around them. You can find them pretty easily anywhere now on Amazon, or you can order them. but you can just get the cotton wool, and it just takes a spoonful. You wrap it around your liver, which is on the right side of your body, and you can wrap it around that rib cage there. You can leave it on overnight, or you could put a heat pack on it and leave it on for an hour or two, and that really can help your liver and support your liver and the overall detoxification. And so remember the TCM clock. I keep going back and forth because I want you to see all the big picture. So the TCM clock, we had from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., triple burner, gallbladder, and then liver. So you're starting to see how this glymphatic system is really important, not just for the brain detoxification, but also for digestion, for your immune system, for cognition, for memory, for so many things, for your overall function. But when we start to look at different systems of medicine, we can also understand how it's put together. And so why is this liver pack going to even be helpful for your sleep detoxification? Because the brain is communicating with the liver, with the digestive system during sleep, and especially in that first half or 2/3 of sleep, whenever, depending on when you go to sleep, that liver time is from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. And these are approximate. This is not meant to be like black and white Oregon clock. These are approximate. Yeah, use a castor oil liver pack. Castor oil, the vibration of castor oil helps to break up stuckness. So you can really use it anywhere. Another great place to use it, especially before you go to sleep, is if you had someone help you run it down your spine. Now, castor oil is really sticky. So if you do use it, then you might want to use an old t-shirt or something put on top, or put something, a barrier, so that you're not messing up your favorite pajamas or sheets. So, but if you run it down your spine, it can feel so good. And I'm going to give you a poem that you can say as you do that. So if you do this for your kids or your partner, just to massage it down your spine. So at the very end of this, I'm going to give you a poem that you could read to enhance that use of the castor oil down the spine. But before I get to that, I'm going to just mention some other lifestyle factors that can help with your overall glymphatics. Anything that gets your lymph moving can help your glymphatics also move. But the glymphatics won't open up optimally until nighttime. So night sleep is really important. But we know that daily exercise can also be helpful. I mentioned intermittent fasting, and we are actually meant to be intermittent fasting anyway, because we're supposed to have that nighttime fast. So everybody intermittent fasts. You don't have to fast like for 20 hours, but you do have a nice like 10 to 12-hour fast per night, and that's pretty normal for most people. So to protect that time, to have that time where your digestion can rest, and then to start to wind down at night, to bring down your energy, to start turning down the lights at night, to get your circadian rhythms ready for nighttime. We have all of these lights. I have them all on right now, and it's nighttime. So we have these modern conveniences that interfere with our natural circadian rhythms that's supposed to follow the sun. But knowing that, we just have to work with them as best that we can. So before bedtime, that hour or two before, start to dim the lights, bring them down. You do that for the kids, but do it for yourself as well. And then start to just slow down, read a book or do something else relaxing, night yoga, do some meditation. When you wake in the morning, if you want to help set your circadian rhythms on the other end, you can also go for a morning walk. I read somewhere that to try to see as many sunsets and sunrises as possible, because that was nourishing for the soul. And I feel like, looking at the sunset and sunrise is like this universal language of inspiration and beauty and hope and love, because almost everybody, I can't think of anyone that doesn't love to gaze at the sunset or the sunrise and look at those beautiful colors. So those colors help to set the circadian rhythms, and so you can use them more mindfully through your day. And so the last thing I wanted to end this with is a meditation or a mantra, a kind of intention that you can say as you are preparing yourself for sleep. And I have to prep this with, I am not a trained poet, but I I so want to be able to share these things that I come up with in case it's helpful for you. And then also for you to see that there can be something really beautiful in simplicity, in elegance. So this is like my Dr. Seuss like poetry that is meant to be inspiring and hopeful. And hopefully, my hope is that it helps you get ready for a beautiful sleep. So I'm going to read it for you. And this is called An Infinite Trust Fall, because that is something that will help your glymphatics, that will help your overall detoxification while you sleep, that help with your nourishment while you sleep, is if you could just imagine yourself laying in bed and doing this infinite trust fall where you're falling into the bed and feeling that support of the mattress and feeling that support from the hands of the universe as you get yourself ready for sleep. So it goes like this. An infinite trust fall. As I sleep, I surrender, falling, 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 free falling into trust. It's an infinite fall, forever, listening to spirit, calling, calling, calling. In beautiful harmony, the music of the spheres in brilliant colors of light, twinkling and glowing, glowing and twinkling, while I let go in perfect resonance with the hum of the universe, in my heart and mind, in my body and being. I am space. I am everything. I am flow, allowing the stardust to flow within me and around me, breathing in the light of the spheres, the sounds of the rainbow. They know me so well. Let me flow with this beauty in conscious slumber, so when I wake, I never stop dreaming of who I already am. So I hope that helps you in some way. Thank you so much for being here with me. As always, I believe in you, so I hope that you believe in you too. If you'd like to connect with me other ways, you can on Instagram at All Worlds Health, on Facebook, All Worlds Health and Pediatrics, and on my website, allworldshealth.com. You can sign up for my e-love letters. I send them out once a week on Wednesday, and I hop on here as many Wednesdays as I can, sometime, anytime in the Wednesday, whenever I can fit it in to these MultiDimensional MD podcast. So lots of love to all of you. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.